What's up? I hope you're having an awesome day. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jorge or George. I go by either. And of course, on this channel, I love all things DIY, home decor, trends, and makeovers, all that kind of stuff. And I'm super excited because for today's Dollar Tree DIY video, I am collaborating with Liz Besanson. Now, if you haven't heard of her, she's incredible. She has amazing style. Go check her out on YouTube and Instagram. Of course, I will put her info below. But we decided to challenge each other and select items from Dollar Tree to use in our projects. I think this is going to be really fun. So I chose 5 items for her. She chose 5 items for me. And of those 5, we at least choose 2 to use within our project. So let's take a look at what she selected for me.
Hey guys, I'm Liz Besanson and I'm getting ready to go inside this Dollar Tree store to select my items for George. Let me take you inside and let's pick out some really cool items for George for this challenge.
Okay guys, I'm getting ready to select 5 items for George, which he will pick out 2 of his top faves. I selected this hula skirt because I absolutely think it's hilarious and it's made of straw, so. The next option would be these latex balloons. I chose white, but he can choose whatever color he likes, but he has to make something with that. Now I'm in like the cleaning section and I came across these copper scrubbers. And then over in the bath section, these mats. Finally, I came across the art section. I saved that for last, but I found some yarn. I think you can be very creative with some yarn. So now, George, you have yarn, a bath mat, copper scrubbers, balloons, and a hula skirt. So let's see what you can do.
Alright, so those are some pretty good contenders. So I headed over to Dollar Tree, picked up the items, got some inspiration, and ultimately picked up 2. So can you guess which 2 I picked? Alright, let's get into it. For this project, I'm going to be making a vase. Now, I love all kinds of vases, but I'm really loving those more primitive style vases. You might have seen them, but they really have this really nice quality to them. They're vintage, they're antique, and they almost look like they were dug up from like some ancient civilization. So I'm going to try to make that with the balloon. I love these balloons here, although I'm kind of scared when they pop. So I'm going to make this with this balloon, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright you all, this project turned out to be actually quite fun, and I'm basically making a papier-mâché vase. So the size of the balloon will determine the size of the vase. So I made a pretty generous size and blew up the balloon pretty large. Next, I'm taking a scrap piece of cardboard that I had laying around. If you don't have any, you can certainly buy some at Dollar Tree, but I'm going to be basically making the neck and the base for the vase here. So I just drew out a line and I'm cutting it with some scissors. I'm also folding it, or I guess coiling it with my fingers just to get it nice and brown. Here you see me cutting the smaller strip that will serve as the base of the vase. I'm also taking some painter's tape or masking tape just to hold it together. I don't think it matters what tape you use, but this is what worked for me. I'm also going to tape this to the balloon itself just so that it does not move around. As you can tell, this pretty much is the outline of the vase. Very simple. Now you could totally customize this, make a larger neck or a smaller neck, totally up to you, but this is what I went for. Next it's time to work on the papier-mâché part. So I took some extra newspaper that I had laying around, cut it into 1-inch strips. Now for the actual glue mixture, from what I read online, the best mixture is 1 part glue to 2 parts water. So that is what I did here using this glue from Dollar Tree, mixing it together with this chip brush, which they actually sell a pack of 2 for $1 at Dollar Tree. Really great deal. So I worked in small sections here. So using my brush, I brushed on that glue mixture. Then I put on the newspaper, which laid on there very nicely. Then I brushed on some more of that glue mixture just so that the next layer has something to adhere to. Very straightforward, I would say. In the end, I probably did about 6 layers of this and just worked my way around the balloon. Now I understand this might be a little bit tedious, but put your earbuds on, put your favorite podcast on, watch your favorite TV show, jam out to some music, just have fun and enjoy the process. Also, if you need a piñata for your next birthday, hit me up and I'll make you one. I'm just kidding. So this is what it looks like after those layers, and as you can see, we still see the seams between each of the layer of newspaper. We don't want that. We want this to look like a solid piece of pottery. And one of my subscribers a while ago recommended that I use small rectangles of newspaper for the final layer, and this will really help make it look like one solid piece and blend in those seams, and it really helped. But I thought I'd take this even further, and I did a final layer or two of tissue paper that I cut into small rectangles or squares, and you all, this was game changer. This really blended it all together, made it look like a solid piece, and it even gave it a little bit of texture, which I really like. I also want to take some time and invite you to check me out on Instagram. Many of you have been loving my content over there. I love it when you share with me the projects you do. Shoot me a DM, come say hi. So this is what it looks like once that is complete. I let this cure and harden for maybe about 24 hours before moving on to the next steps. Okay, so it is the next day, and here I have my vase that I set aside. It's not fully dry. It needs to sort of dry from the inside, so I need to pop the balloon. But before I do that, can we just take a minute and acknowledge the fact that this looks like someone familiar? Mike Wazowski, I know, right? Love that dude. Of course, I'm gonna be changing the color here, but let's pop the balloon here. I got my little thumbtack. Low key, I'm just freaked out by popping balloons, but let's see if we can do this without. Okay, that was uneventful. So let's just finish. Let me just take it out here. Now it is time to paint this, which I'm very excited for. And I'm actually going to source inspiration from this vase that I collected a little bit ago. I really like the color tones of this, so I'm going to try to incorporate that into my vase. Now these apple barrel paints are technically not from Dollar Tree, but you can get paints from Dollar Tree if you'd like. Here I'm using nutmeg brown, some yellow, and this green that I forgot the name of. I'm also using some white, mixing that all together to sort of get that brown terracotta color almost, not so pinkish. And as you can see, this looks like a really nice brown color. I am new to this game, but I'm going to use the baking soda technique, which basically will make this a little bit fluffier maybe. Ultimately make this look like ceramic. As I apply the paint here, you can really see that nice texture coming through. I'm really loving it. I was originally going to do the dirt technique, but decided not to, so I'm just going to work with that color I already have, add a little bit more white and some more brown, and really just add dimension to this and kind of just like tap it on there. As you can see, that texture is again really emphasized. I let the paint fully dry and I could have just stopped there, but I thought I'd have a little fun and incorporate the hula skirt into this project, also from Dollar Tree. But basically I am going to tie this around the vase here. So I tied it around the vase here, cut off the excess amount, removing some of the raffia pieces, I believe that's what it's called, and then just using that twine just to tie it together. And I actually lost footage of this, but I did end up cutting the hula skirt or the raffia to basically the length of the vase here. You'll see here in a moment why. And then I'm taking the remaining piece of the hula skirt and basically just removing the raffia because I just want the twine. And then I'm securing the raffia here to the neck with some hot glue. Now I am actually going to take the raffia pieces here as I flipped over the vase, and I'm going to glue this to sort of that bottom, sort of where the balloon meets the cardboard per se, and using some Elmer's glue, also from Dollar Tree, which I honestly should have just stuck to the hot glue. I ended up actually using some thumbtacks to secure it onto place while it dried. Basically, I recommend the hot glue if you can, but it doesn't really matter. Now, as you notice, I alternated the raffia pieces I used just so that I can still see the vase and the texture and all that. Just a design choice of mine. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim the excess pieces off. Now, once the glue started to dry, I removed the thumbtacks and then tied the twine around that just to hold it into place. And then I did trim off the excess length of the raffia. I probably could have gone it a better way, but in the end it worked. So let's take a look at the final result. Alright, so I'm going to keep this next project very simple. I want to make some large wall art, and of course large wall art can be very expensive, but we're gonna get that high-end look for less. And I'm gonna use this hula skirt that I'm really loving. So I'm gonna be using this. Also gonna be using this black foam board right here. Also picked this up from Dollar Tree. They also sell a white one, but I got the black one here. Also, I'm gonna be using this large frame. Now I know what you're thinking, that's not from Dollar Tree. That's right. So my tip for you, I guess, is if you want to recreate this project, is to go out to your thrift stores and get a large frame. I got this for $2 a little bit ago. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. You can give it a coat of spray paint or transform it. And you don't necessarily need the glass or the artwork. You just want the frame. Also, take a look around your house. Maybe you have a frame that you don't need. So I know this is technically not from Dollar Tree, but I'm going to incorporate it. Just you'll see the results here. So I bought another hula skirt for this project, and we actually don't need sort of the twine part, so I'm just cutting that off. We just want the raffia in its full length here. So I'm just going to set that aside and just clear out my foam board here. Now keep in mind that this is already cut to the size of my frame. And then I'm going to take some of the Elmer's glue. Well, it's technically not Elmer's glue, it's the Dollar Tree one. You know what I mean. And I'm just going to basically draw out two lines here. The top and the bottom per se. And for this project, it's all about embracing imperfections. I'm kind of just eyeballing this. Again, this will add to the character of this handmade art piece, and basically kind of just laying these out here. So I'm using my fingers to hold it into place onto the glue, just stretching out for a moment. Basically, this is what it's going to look like once that is complete. Yes, this is tedious, but again, put your favorite music on, your favorite TV show, podcast, bring in your kids to help you. It doesn't really matter, just enjoy the process, and yeah, just have a little patience, I would say, for this project. Next up, I am weaving this, I guess like cross weaving, I don't know the right terminology here, but basically I am weaving it into the raffia here. Again, I'm not really worried about the length right now. We'll cut this a little bit later. Yes, this is tedious. This probably took longer than the other part. Honestly, I would say that this probably took about 3 to 4 hours total. Just keeping it real with you. As you notice here, it's the sun is setting. Here I am still, but I'm enjoying the process. And then I found this like large needle around the house. I don't know what it is technically called. Maybe it's like a yarn needle or a weaving needle. I don't know. Let me know down below if you do. I'll try to link something like this. Definitely not necessary, but I did find this to make my job a lot easier. And it did speed up the process, as you can see here. But again, totally not necessary. But then I went ahead and just finished this up, adjusted the raffia grid here, and then just took some scissors just to trim off the edges here. Kind of just make this look like a tapestry, or I don't know, some sort of rug of some kind. Just making it look nice, I guess. And then once that is complete, I went ahead and mounted it onto this frame here, flipped it over here, and then I just used a stapler to secure it into place. But that pretty much does it for this project. Yes, it was a little bit lengthy, but it is actually quite simple, and I think it looks nice. So let's take a look at how I styled it. Alright, so that does it for today's project. I really had fun making these. Comment down below, let me know which project was your favorite. So let's head on over to Liz's channel if you haven't already, because I also challenged her with Dollar Tree items to use for her projects, and the little bird told me that she made some incredible projects. So I'm going to leave her information down below and the link to her channel and all that. But I also want to thank you so much for watching this video. Hit that like button if you really enjoyed it. Also subscribe for more videos like this. Check me out on Instagram. But thanks again, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye!